Endfield just dropped its beta, and while the gameplay and features are blowing us away, there's one thing sparking debates across the community: the gacha system. Hello, fellow doctors and future administrators. Today, we're diving deep into the recent discussions surrounding Arknights Endfield's gacha system. As a day one player of the original Arknights, I've seen my fair share of Orundum spent and operators recruited. With Enfield's beta test now live, it's the perfect time to share my thoughts on the game's mechanics, especially the gacha system, why it's got people talking, and why I'm surprisingly optimistic about the future. Buckle up, fellow doctors. We're diving into the pool zone. First, let's talk about the beta. Arknights Endfield has officially entered its beta testing phase, with players gaining access starting mid-January 2025. Can we just take a moment to appreciate how stunning the world looks? The environments, the combat, it's like a breath of fresh air while still keeping that Arknights soul we love. This new installment takes us to the uncharted world of Talos 2, offering a fresh blend of 3D real-time RPG elements and strategic gameplay. The reception has been overwhelmingly positive. I mean, who wouldn't fall in love with a game that feels this polished, even in its beta phase? The beta introduces 15 playable characters, including 2 administrators and 13 operators, 6 of whom are entirely new to the Arknights universe. Players can also experience reworked storylines, new maps, and enhanced puzzle and dungeon content. The community's initial reactions have been largely positive, praising the game's immersive environments and engaging mechanics. But then, the gacha system entered the chat, and well, let's just say things got a little spicy. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Players quickly noticed something odd about the operator banner. Unlike the infinite guaranteed pulls we're used to in other games, Endfield only guarantees the featured operator once. Yep, just once. This means that after securing the featured operator, subsequent pulls on the same banner do not have the same guarantee, leading to concerns about the system's fairness and player friendliness. Additionally, the weapon banner's currency is tied to pulls from the operator banner, adding another layer of complexity and potential frustration for players. How did we end up here in the first place, Hypergriff? I get that you're trying to be different from other gacha games, but somehow you got all the fan base against you. But before we grab our pitchforks, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Having been a part of Rhodes Island since day one, I've experienced the highs and lows of Arknights' gacha system. I've had days where RNG blessed me with Shin Alter and Mizuki in under 30 pulls. And then there were days. Texas Alter, I'm looking at you, where my Orundum stash cried for mercy. Here's the thing, Arknights has always been about balance. Operator potential upgrades don't make or break your gameplay. Sure, they're nice to have, but unless you're gunning for maximum contingency contract risks, they're not essential. Only the most dedicated players, aiming for top contingency contract risks, truly benefit from maxed potentials. This philosophy seems to carry over to Endfield. Potentials might boost numbers, but they don't drastically change how you play. Compared to some other games where higher dupes unlock entirely new mechanics, this feels, dare I say it, gracious. So, what do I think about Enfield's gacha? Honestly, I don't see greed here. Instead, I see restraint, a developer prioritizing gameplay over pushing whales to their limits. Hypergriff has always had a reputation for being player-friendly, and this feels like an extension of that. Translating this to Endfield, the single guaranteed pull per banner might initially seem restrictive. However, considering that potentials in Endfield also offer incremental improvements rather than transformative changes, this system could be seen as a way to maintain game balance and longevity. By limiting guaranteed pulls, the developers may be encouraging players to diversify their rosters and engage more deeply with the game's mechanics, rather than focusing solely on maxing out a single operator. It's a design choice that, while different, doesn't necessarily indicate greed. In fact, it might reflect a commitment to providing a balanced and fair experience for all players. Let's not forget that this is just the beta. Systems can evolve based on feedback, and if there's one thing we know about Hypergriff, it's that they listen. Remember when the base system in Arknights felt a bit clunky? They fine-tuned it over time, and now it's one of the best parts of the game. I'm hopeful that Endfield will follow a similar path. From my perspective, while the Gacha system in Endfield differs from what we're accustomed to, it doesn't spell doom for the game. The developers have shown a willingness to listen to player feedback and make adjustments accordingly. The beta phase is precisely the time for these discussions, and constructive feedback can lead to positive changes. I'm optimistic about Arknights Endfield's future and look forward to its full release. Remember, in the world of Terra, adaptability is key, whether you're facing a catastrophe or navigating a new Gacha system. At the end of the day, Gacha is always a gamble, whether it's Arknights, Endfield, or any other game. But what sets Hypergriff apart is their focus on fair play and respect for the player base. I'm genuinely excited to see how Endfield evolves. The future feels bright, and I'm here for the journey. So, fellow doctors, what are your thoughts on the Endfield Gacha system? Do you see it as a step forward, a step back, or just a step sideways? Let me know in the comments. And hey, if you're feeling lucky, maybe go for one more pull. Just don't forget to check your sanity levels first. Thank you for joining me in this discussion. If you have any thoughts or experiences with Endfield's beta, feel free to share them in the comments below. Let's continue to support each other and the game as it evolves. Until next time, stay strong, doctors.